guess, not really aggression, but more of the expansion, towards the 60 and the 70, and the nuclear, basically the nuclear weaponry, both sides trying to make too. So this is basically how you want to deal, okay, when you're talking about summary or purpose of the questions on SAT. Basically, you eliminate. You can always eliminate one. That's basically irrelevant. But most of the time, if you read the text, two of them, you can get rid of them. And then you make, inference. Why you basically look at the choice and see which one cover the most, what you read. So that's how you deal with the purpose and summary. Okay, now let's look at number 2. So you got it, right? Basically, it's very nice and easy warm up for the first one. Okay? Okay. Now we're going to look at number 2. Number 2 is basically word in context. What is word in context? Basically,
word in context?
Yeah, word in context is basically they'll give you a vocabulary of that reading, okay, with the line like that. You cannot just translate the word directly like out from a dictionary and trying to guess is that's going to be correct. Word in context is about how they use that particular vocabulary within the paragraph and what they're trying to convey. Do you understand what I mean by convey?
No.
Convey is mean they try to give you the meaning, okay, the analogy, comparison of the words, and you need to pick the most concise, basically concise definition of they're trying to use. Like for example, what I mean, what try to convey, like so for example, here, let's say, let's use something easy here. Hold on. Let me write a sentence so you understand it. Let's find a word that has several meanings. Oh, okay. Let's see. Okay. He is in agony. I think you know agony. Very basic SAT word. He's in agony from the car accident. So we know that we want to find the definition of agony. So we know that he's in pain physically. So that's word in context of this particular sentence, okay? And let's look at number 2. Her mind is still in agony from the breakup of her family from the war. Okay, a little longer. Her mind is still in agony from the breakup of her family from the war. So now we know that agony is not pain physically, the context. Explain to me, based on your understanding, don't worry, we're going to get it right or wrong. What do you think that agony mean now?
Like in this sentence?
Yes, on number 2.
I think it's not like, it's more like her thought
Exactly.
and her mind is like still hurting.
Okay. All right.
Which is like her feeling. Like,
Okay.
mostly more than that.
Good, so you're in the right direction. Basically, agony on the second sentence, talking about she is upset, she is in distress. Do you understand what I mean by she's being in distress, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yes. So distress would be the right context, the meaning with agony for what I just asked you. So basically, this is how you deal with agony. You have to, 1, look at the internal clue, internal definition. We know that agony is talking about pain. And then we have to look at outside context, okay, which is her mind, okay, breakup. We know that agony is no longer about pain physically. We can relate that this is pain in her mind and the cause pulsation of her agony in her mind is from a breakup of her family. So we know that is a distress. Yes. That's basically very basic way of dealing with this. Okay? Got it? Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, good. All right, so in line 15, when they ask you on SAT in line 15, you need to look at the word first, deterrent. Do you understand what deterrent is?
Was deterrence and defense kind of similar, isn't it?
Yes. So we know that internal meaning of the word deterrent is mean defense, protect themselves. But we cannot just like, okay, that's what it means. We have to look at the outside, element that we deal with the second sentence right there. So we go to line 15. Here you go. Always select more than one sentence, because when you want to read the SAT, there's relation between, the sentence up and down. So we'll read it like this at the beginning from D. So the purpose of NATO is twofold: deterrence and defense. The very act of forming peacetime alliance, it was believed, would serve to deter aggression by the Soviet. So that covers it. So we know that, okay, they're using deterrence and defense. Defense means to protect yourself. So actually deterrent is kind of like some sort of measure to kind of like preemptive. You do it before anything happens. So it's like a preemptive action to protect. So now we look at the choices. We just need to eliminate what is irrelevant. Not hard. So look at A, discouragement of attack by other nations, especially by the Soviet Union. That is actually relevant, okay? Because here, discouragement does mean you tell people to feel that discouragement means that you discourage, you kind of like tell people to stop it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So just stop it. Okay, don't do that anymore by attacking. So basically we gotta keep A. Okay. But look at B here. The strength of NATO member nation with regard to the rest of Europe. They're talking about deterrent is the strength of NATO. Is that it or it's not?
Probably not.
No. They're not talking about the strength. So we can cancel that, the B. What about C here? The possible aggression behavior. Would deterrent is the possible aggression behavior Soviet Union?
Sorry?
Do you think that the word deterrence actually had any kind of relevancy? Is it related to the possible aggression of Soviet Union or no?
I think so.
Okay, we can keep that. Okay, well, we'll keep A and we keep C. Do you think that deterrent has anything to do with high moral purpose of the alliance? The high moral purpose of the alliance as opposed to superficial purpose of NATO?
I don't think so.
Nope. Now we're gonna have to use the context, very easy. Do you think the word deterrence related to the discouragement from having Soviet attacking you? Or is it about the aggression behavior from the Soviet Union? Now it's very easy. What do you think is the answer that would be correct?
I think it's A.
Definitely. So this is the logical way of you dealing, okay, with the definition, okay, on SAT. So basically how you're gonna get good at this, just use my technique. If you do it often, you'll get used to it. But also there's 1,000 vocabulary that you need to kind of like study it too, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, but in high school, I'm not sure. How long have you been in high school in the States?
About like...
Couple years or what?
Till I graduated, I was there since 8th grade.
Okay, good. 8 to 12. So basically you cover most of the advanced literature they have in high school. So that's good.
Just like, mostly till 11 because I graduated early.
Okay, you graduate early, but still, they probably use a lot of SAT. Okay, was it a public or private high school?
It was public.
Okay. Well, they probably cover something that is necessary, but basically SAT every year, when you study, I'll give you the instructor or me will give you the list, okay? Every year they always gonna have that 1,000 words. And if you ask me, okay, Peter, why 1,000 words? It's basically the core fundamental vocabulary they use in SAT, and that's about it. They don't use it anywhere else, okay? I mean, yeah. You'll probably see it in college on literatures and some research paper, but they don't use it in every day. So that there's those 1,000 words, okay?
I see.
Yeah, but most of the time students would flunk it because they don't memorize those 1,000 words because they don't get to see it every day. Yeah. Like for example, like here, I'll give you one word, always show up every year. So you'll get it right away here, like melancholy here. Here, I'll put it on whiteboard. Here. See, like that, melancholy, show up every year. Do you know what melancholy means? Just on top of your head?
I do not.
Melancholy, okay. Melancholy is basically means sadness, bitterment, sadness, bitterment. Like when you are very bitter, okay. Bitterment, sadness is mean melancholy, okay. But in everyday, we don't use melancholy. You just say that you are depressed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes. So basically, those kind of vocabulary will show up is part of that 1,000 word you need to study. Okay. You got it?
Okay.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
All right. So we cover purpose. We cover definition. Now we're gonna look at text. Purpose of text. Like you're gonna have the entire passage reading that cover the summary. Now they're gonna focus on certain part of the paragraph, okay? So the purpose of the second paragraph, line 10 to 20, in relation to the rest of the passage, what do they mean by that? They're talking about, please read that paragraph, tell me what is it about and why is it important to the rest of the text. That's basically what it says. Okay, so we look at 10 and 20 real quick. Okay, 10 to 20. 10 to 20 talking about what kind of coalition, what kind of membership NATO is. See, they talking about Grand Alliance. They talking about why NATO is different because most of the previous alliance came to be to fight some like dictator or some bad country, you know what I mean? Basically, it's like a reaction alliance. War happened, they build an alliance, they fought, they win, then they, basically kind of disband the member, then stop. But NATO basically is very different because NATO came to be in two ways. It was built first to prevent any kind of aggression, any kind of, war action. And then defense just mean basically they're not gonna build this membership and go attack some people. It's basically to protect the member only, okay? So we know that this came to be very different from other way that, the alliance came before in World War I and World War II. So we know how the purpose of that particular paragraph kind of stated out for you. So we just look at A real quick here. Introduce the factors underlying the formation of NATO. What does it mean there, to your understanding?
Introduce the factors underlying. So my understanding is kind of like they were just introducing about the factor. That they were like,
you kind of
just like exactly like they're saying.
Well, that's the issue, film. If you kind of relate the choice and you translate it out directly without digesting it, there are possibility you might get it wrong. The way you want to deal with this is talking about the elements, the elements that help build NATO. That's the way you want to digest them. Very too simplistic.